Rudy Giuliani suggesting President Trump may join Republican lawmakers Devin Nunes and Gowdy in their push for classified documents in the Russia matter. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan, member of the House Oversight Committee, co-founder of the Freedom Caucus. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Bill.
Is there a push to expose the name of this alleged source within the FBI that may have been spying on the Trump team?
Look, I'm not that concerned who the name is. There's been a name out there in the press. I don't know if that's the individual or not. What I do know is if they did this, if there was a plant, if there was a spy, if there was an informant put in the other party's campaign during the election, that is as wrong as it gets. And, Bill, when you couple that with what we know they did with the dossier, took this disproven dossier, dressed it all up, made it look like legitimate intelligence, and took it to the FISA court, and most importantly, didn't tell the court who paid for it, and didn't tell the court the author of the document had been fired by the FBI because he was leaking information. If all that happened, this is as wrong as it gets, and that's why we want the information to see if, in fact, it did actually occur.
You're suggesting that is the original sin in all of this, which goes back to 2016, I would imagine, right?
I'm suggesting that one administration shouldn't have spies on the other party's candidate for the highest office in the land, shouldn't dress up a disproven dossier paid for by the other party's campaign, or excuse me, by the Clinton campaign, and they shouldn't do that. That's what I'm suggesting, and it looks like all that happened. And what we're asking for is give us the information to show us.
Right there. So you think you can prove that?
Devin is asking for information on, was there this informant spy placed there in the campaign? We already know about the dossier. Bill, you and I go to court, we have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The FBI took this dossier to the court and didn't tell them the Clinton campaign paid for it. A secret court to get a secret warrant to spy on a individual associated with the Trump campaign. They didn't tell him that, and they didn't tell him that Christopher Steele, the author of it, had been fired from the FBI because he was out leaking information.
So here's Giuliani, Washington Post, okay? I don't know why the current Attorney General and the current Director of the FBI want to protect a bunch of renegades that might amount to 20 people at most within the FBI. What about that? 20 people, do you think, are trying to protect the agency?
I don't know the number. I know Jim Comey was fired, head of the FBI. I know Andrew McCabe, deputy director, was fired. He faces a criminal referral because he lied 3 times. I know Jim Baker, FBI counsel, was demoted and reassigned and just retired 2 weeks ago. I know Peter Strzok, deputy head of counterintelligence, was demoted, reassigned. I know Lisa Page, FBI counsel, worked for Andy McCabe, was demoted, reassigned, and retired 2 weeks ago. Those are 5 top people at the FBI. And what we've asked for is the same thing Mr. Giuliani pointed out yesterday. Mr. Meadows and I sent a letter earlier this week to the President of the United States saying, tell the Attorney General, tell the Deputy Attorney General to give Congress the information we are entitled to see as a separate and equal branch of government with a constitutional duty to do oversight. Let us have the information we are supposed to get so we can get answers for the American people.
Okay, one last point. We reached out to the Department of Justice. What they're saying is that they extended an invitation to Nunes and Gowdy to come today and have a look at a lot of this classified information. And apparently they have not heard back. Do you know why that would be?
Well, my understanding is I think that invitation was just to come and talk again. There's a subpoena for the information, for the documents that Chairman Nunes is requesting. They were going to have him come over and talk again on a Friday. We'll get back to you next week, just like they've been doing for months now. Remember, we're supposed to get just on a different investigation area. The Oversight and Judiciary Committee in the House, we have asked for documents, 46,000 documents that Justice has told us we're entitled to get. We've received 9,000 over the last 6 months. At that pace, we'll be into the second term of President Trump before we ever get the information, for goodness sake. That is the frustration that the Chairman Nunes sees on the intelligence side, the frustration we on the Judiciary and Oversight see as well.
All right, we will see if we get more reaction on that meeting, whether it happens or not. Jim Jordan, thank you for your time. That is one side of the debate. Okay, thank you, sir.